All right, so let's just settle into our meditation posture. I'm going to unpin myself over here. I'd like to see all you people. All right, thank you. All right, I don't know if anyone has anything busy that they're doing today, but the mind's probably already going there. If it is, just first of all, just become aware of it and very gently bring your mind back to your body or to the place where you're sitting. And just try and settle your mind. And check your feet. If you are sitting at a chair and your feet are down, it's best they're in a parallel position. And I go through this and we sit this way because it's the best way for the energy in the body to flow. Is when you're sitting correctly. And it makes, when you get into the more subtle levels of meditation, it just makes it a lot easier. And if you're sitting in a regular cross-legged position and your knees are very tight, we're going to be here for half an hour, so you can put some cushions underneath your knees as well. Make sure there's something underneath your sit bones and that the hips are slightly raised, your sit bones are slightly raised. Hands are in the meditation mudra, right hand nestled in the left with the thumbs touching. Pelvic bowl is in a nice upright position, not tipped too far forward or too far back. You can imagine your spine is a string of pearls of light, stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head. And somebody is above you, lengthening your spine. The head is reaching towards the ceiling. Shoulders are aligned with the hips. And welcome, Claire. Head is slightly tipped forward. The eyes are down, looking along the length of the nose. Tip of the tongue on the roof of the mouth. Relax the jaw. Just bring your mind to the crown of the head and relax the scalp, the forehead, the eyes. And relax the back of the eyes, the eye socket there. We use our eyes a lot. Looking, reading in front of computer screens. So we can rest them now for the moment. Relax the nose and the cheeks, the area around the mouth. Bring your awareness to the back of the head. Relax the scalp there. Relax the ears, the inner ear, the temples, the occipital bone, base of the skull. Relax the neck, the shoulders, the upper thoracic, and your throat, chest, and belly, and limbs. Hands and fingers and feet and toes. Bring the mind to the breath. And notice the sensation of the air as you're breathing in. Sorry, I'm just adjusting the mic. It's slightly cooler than the air that you're breathing out. And depending on how your nose is shaped, how you've been trained in meditation in the past, you may notice the air flowing in a different spot. So some people notice at the tip of the nose, others at the base, others at the side. So for the purposes of this meditation, it doesn't matter. If you have any sounds in your environment, maybe a heater's kicking in or an air conditioner wherever you are. You've got traffic sounds, pets, people moving around your home. Try not to let the mind be distracted by that. Just allow those sounds to be there. They're part of your environment. And then notice what's happening in your mind. There's been a lot going on this past week. So how do you feel? And try not to engage too much with your thoughts. So for the moment, just allow the thoughts to arise, to abide, and to fall. And keeping the mind on the breath. So let's bring to mind all the people of our life. And I think this week's a really good week to practice equanimity. Because we have good people and bad people, oppressors, victims, all in the news. And we are categorizing people as, well, these people are the good, they're our friends, these people are the enemies, they're the bad ones. And from a conventional point of view, and the way we look at the world, it is looking like that. The fact is, people who are in Russia want to be happy in the same way that people who are in Ukraine want to be happy. No one wants to suffer. Everybody's looking for happiness in the way that they think is going to bring it to them. Unfortunately, it doesn't always work out for everybody else. So bring to your mind all the people of your own life, the ones you love. The ones who love you, who support you and care for you, catch you before you fall. And then there's your enemies, the ones who don't like you very much. You don't like them either. Maybe they've harmed you, maybe you've harmed them. And then there's your strangers. And maybe all these, over this past year, it's possible that a stranger has become a dear friend. A friend is no longer as close as they were once before. It's interesting to notice. Just out of curiosity, who in your life has shifted from one place to the other. They say in the text, the friend, the enemy and the stranger can change place at any time. So I think we'll do this meditation this morning for all the people of our life, all sentient beings, particularly for the people in Europe, Ukraine, Russia. We make many prayers for the leaders of these countries, of NATO, of Russia, of Ukraine, to be able to come to some agreement for peace in that country. So we'll do one round of the 9-round breathing. So just to remind, when you're breathing in blissful, radiant white light. And you can breathe in for the count of 4, if you like, if that works for you. And pause at the top of the breath, just very briefly. And then as you're breathing out through the left nostril, you breathe out this, all your attachment energy, this unhealthy desire, grasping, neediness, not feeling like you're enough, wanting more. Anxiety, all this kind of energy, it's all attachment. So you breathe it out as thick black yucky smoke, do that 3 times. Then breathe in through the left. You can do it for a count of 4 if you can. Blissful, radiant white light. You pause at the top of the breath and breathe out through the right, all your anger energy. So this is disappointment and depression, wishing to harm and jealousy, and grudges, bitterness, and just outright anger. But it can be so destructive. We don't know how to use this kind of energy, this kind of wrathful energy. So breathe it out as thick black yucky smoke. Do that 3 times, and then breathe in through both nostrils. You can count for 4 if you like, pausing at the top of the breath. Then breathe out all our ignorance, not knowing the way things truly exist. And when I first saw images of the tanks rolling into Ukraine, in my mind comes well-trained enemy Russia. But it turns out they're all young 23-year-olds who had no idea why they were going into Ukraine. They thought they were on some exercise. They didn't know it was war. So there I go again, assuming incorrectly. So you breathe out all your ignorance as thick black yucky smoke. Do that 3 times. And as you're breathing out, if you want to equalize the breath, you can breathe out for 4 as well. Okay, so we'll just do this 1 set in our own time. Okay, good. And just feel, and just notice, are you feeling a little bit more settled? A bit more grounded? You know, this meditation is something you can do any time of day. It takes at most 5 minutes. And it's a really good one to do, perhaps if you have a meeting that's going to be a bit contentious or your mind is a bit unsettled. It's really something you can keep in your spiritual toolkit. Okay, so Tara, imagine she's in the space in front of you. And she's an emerald green color. And this manifestation of all the Buddhas, love and compassion, and wisdom. She's this kind of action energy. She has this beautiful, youthful face. It's absolutely gorgeous looking. She has these bright red cherry lips. And her hair is tied up in part of it's in a knot at the top and the rest is kind of flowing down her back. Each strand is separate, it's black. And the image I'm looking at, she's a tiny bit wrathful. I mean, beautiful face, but you wouldn't want to cross her. And at the same time, she's looking at you with love, concern, compassion. She has no judgment for you, towards you, no critical thoughts. She's accepting you exactly as you are, meeting you where you're at. She has this 5-pointed crown on her head. It's embedded with jewels. She's wearing jewelry around her necklace and her arms, around her wrists and her ankles. And she's wearing this kind of, she's got these silken celestial scarves kind of draped all around her, all over her. Her left leg is drawn up, signifying her complete control. Her right leg is extended. It's just she's getting ready to get up at the slightest moment to help you and all sentient beings. Her left hand is at her heart in the Refuge gesture, so the Refuge Mudra. Her hand, the palm is facing outward. The thumb and the ring finger are joined together. The remaining 3 fingers are raised. Her right hand is on her right knee in the gesture of granting sublime realization. So that's the palm facing outward. The fingers are loosely pointing down. And in each hand she's holding the stem of a blue Utpala flower. And this is a symbol of unblocking the central channel. She's surrounded by all sentient beings, and you are surrounded by all sentient beings as far as the horizon, and all the people of your life. You can also imagine, well, don't forget Tara is made of light. It's like a hologram in front of you. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher, your Lama. This makes it a bit more personal. Manifesting in this form for your benefit. So you've got this light body of wisdom, compassion in front of you. So the people that you're close to are behind you for your support. The ones that you don't like, your enemy, are in front of you, eyeball to eyeball, and everybody else is all around. And imagine that everybody is joining you in reciting these prayers. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly by my practice of giving and other perfections. May I become a Buddha to benefit sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May all sentient beings be inseparable from the happiness that is free from suffering. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free from attachment and anger that hold others, some close and others distant. So now imagine, recall any request that you want to make. Success in your spiritual or worldly activities, the health and long life of your relatives or yourself, or anything at all that you want. Perhaps we can also make a request for peace in Ukraine, for all the damage to stop, all the bombing to stop. And with these needs in mind, I'm going to recite a short prayer to Tara, and then we're going to recite her mantra. Om, I prostrate to the goddess, foe destroyer, liberating Lady Tara, homage to Tare, savioress, heroine, with to Tare dispelling all fears, granting all benefits with Ture, to her with sound, Swaha I bow. Om, I prostrate to the goddess, foe destroyer, liberating Lady Tara, homage to Tare, savioress, heroine, with to Tare dispelling all fears, granting all benefits with Ture, to her with sound, Swaha I bow. Om, I prostrate to the goddess, foe destroyer, liberating Lady Tara, homage to Tare, savioress, heroine, with to Tare dispelling all fears, granting all benefits with Ture, to her with sound, Swaha I bow. So the visualization here is, and I'll recite the prayer one more time so you can visualize it. You visualize rays of light with nectar running down them, sort of like raindrops running down a wire, emanating from the point where Tara's left thumb and ring finger touch. The rays and nectar flow continuously, reaching you and all the beings surrounding you, purifying your hindrances to Dharma practice and the obscurations to liberation and enlightenment. And remember the problems of all the people you are praying for, and think of all the sufferings and troubles being experienced by the sentient beings surrounding you. So all these people who are fighting wars, and not just in Ukraine, feeling unwell or lonely, the people who are full of anger and pride or jealousy. And you can just imagine as the rays and nectar enter their bodies and their minds, the suffering and the causes of all their suffering are completely extinguished, and all sentient beings become liberated. So just, that's quite a long visualization, but it's almost like you can imagine from Tara's heart coming with this incredible blissful nectar, and it's running down a wire like rainwater running down a wire towards all these sentient beings. I'll do the prayer one more time and then we can recite the mantra. Om, I prostrate to the goddess, foe destroyer, liberating Lady Tara, homage to Tare, savioress, heroine, with to Tare dispelling all fears, granting all benefits with Ture, to her with sound, Swaha I bow. Om Tare, tu Tare, ture soha. 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 Om Tare Tutare 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 Ture Soha. Now imagine that yourselves and all beings become one with Tara. And as we recite the mantra, an identical Tara emanates from the Tara you're imagining in front, you're visualizing in front of you, and dissolves into you and everyone else. And you all become completely one with Tara's holy body, speech and mind as you recite the mantra. Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha. 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 Imagine that your mind, the mind of your teacher, and this incredible, omniscient, blissful, clear, action, energetic, talented, creative mind of Tara are all one. Imagine you're filled with bliss and energy and light as you move through the day with this energy. Touches everyone around you and benefits them. So due to these merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of Tara and lead all living beings without exception into that enlightened state. May the supreme jewel bodhicitta that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish, but increase more and more. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much, Matt, for hosting yet again. Lots of love, everybody. Do take care. I look forward to seeing some of you this afternoon and some of you tonight in Vajrasattva. Yay.